Okay, we're live. This is Grush. With me is Rekla, and it is the first match of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. I think the fieldings are interesting as always. I think that KCS is probably going to try to do something similar as they did last time, which is that they targeted Grumf really quickly, and it was through a few small errors that added up to a big one that he died fast. I don't think that's going to happen this time, so it's going to be a little
Well,
more difficult.
I don't know that I would say it was a small error that led to that. Let's be completely
I'm
honest
trying to
here.
be diplomatic, but yeah, go ahead.
He started
It's
off
your
the
team.
match holy wording himself, which drops your health by half and your moves to 0. So
Yeah.
he just died instantly.
I
There was
remember
no.
that reminds me of something. Carrick, he was a Shadow Knight in Shadow around 2001 or something, and he was in an AGL match and he raptured too late. So he walked out there with like 100 health and nothing else, but he was fighting a level 47 priest, so he won anyway. But
Holy
yeah,
crap!
it's you got to be careful with the timers.
All right. So this is going to be a repeat of the last Brutes Card Sharks match. Same lineups: Merilith, Grendel, Hartney, Slann against Faro, Xant, Grumf, Dxutim. I think it's going to be a little different. Grumf is not going to kill himself to start the match off. Hopefully, hopefully. Um,
So I want to talk a little bit about strategy here because I don't know what they did last match. I didn't watch it to be honest, but I think probably they're gonna protection good for Grumf and Mara is gonna try for Holy Smite on Zudum. Is that what they did last time?
that's typically what's been happening is people protect for Grump and then Holy Smite Zudum.
Okay, but
Based on that damage, I'm gonna guess they're not protected against Zudum though.
yeah, which means they're probably gonna smite him. That's probably what that's gonna be.
Or they might just like be totally afraid of Grump, protect against him, and smite him.
Maybe, yeah. At least you entirely don't have to worry about one person there. But
um,
let's see.
Another thing that happened last match was that there was a Mem League and Grump got E-drained like 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm. Zudum does get smited. Auorodict is taking a lot of damage here. Slann does take a dispel, which means Slann's going to be off his feet for a little bit. Auorodict really needs to get out of there quickly. It looks like he's getting stun locked though. Just that aerial constitution.
Yeah, he's dropping half health and going down. Hartney,
It
or
looks like he's trying to
Grendel.
stick it out in defensive stance. I would probably, you have all that healing, so just get off to a corner there. KCS isn't going to out heal you, so take your time.
A dispel onto Xantiln. That's different. And Auorodict got perforated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be some solid, consistent damage to him. It's not going to, like, well, maybe I spoke too soon. What is that?
Those are big rounds for sure. So
Yeah,
perforate's taking away. It's not that huge. It's just it basically stops your regen and it takes a little bit of health off the top there. But with the damage that he's taking, Auorodict just needs to get out of there.
yeah, and it looks like
Just
he's
leave and
not
heal.
taking any more right now, so it's just consistent damage from brutes onto sharks here.
It is, and this is really bad for KCS because KCS cannot afford to even go mid. Like you can't even go even with brutes because they're just going to out heal stuff unless you get a lucky kill. That is a huge round on
Whoa,
Xantiln though,
that's yeah,
and
Xant
a
goes
trip off
down like
that very
that.
intelligently.
Um, okay, he does survive that, but he's getting the runes of destruction off, and that's gonna be if he goes down, then that's a good position for sharks. Definitely not game ending. We've seen in the last couple brutes and sharks matches. Obviously, brutes have been able to turn things around pretty consistently. Slann just
There's a
choked you onto Grendel.
That is not the play you want to be making. What are
Like
the odds that you land that choke to begin with, man?
like you couldn't choke a troll if you tried. Um,
Hey, it's Murphy's Law, you know? But this might give Brutes a little time to heal up here, which KCS does not want. Brutes have a lot more healing than KCS between Auorodict and Grumf. Can't get over the choke odds there.
Yeah.
Just can't. It's just the worst select for KCS.
I mean, it's bad enough they gotta deal with me choking them. Now they have to deal with Slann choking them too.
Yeah, for sure.
See, this is my secret strategy. I fake them out, and then they just choke themselves. Like,
Yeah.
they're so scared of me that they choke themselves out.
See, that's why you're fielding so many G names too. You know, you want those extra chokes. But it does look like Brutes are going to get some healing off. I mean, basically they went into that engagement and they hurt Merilith, and they hurt Merilith really bad, and they got Hartney and red, and that's what they want because look, they're already getting pretty high up in health. Auorodict was up to, well above 50%. A huge round on Grendel goes off. So this is pretty definitively in Brute's hands at this point, unless KCS can get a lucky toast off and a stun lock.
Another dispel onto Grendel, which is going to be, not too frustrating for him. When there's no follow-up damage, but there's a kill onto Hartney.
A Meteo toast, not surprisingly. Auorodict's weapon tosses are going off, and that's really, really annoying.
Well, I mean,
so it's working out.
The weapon tosses always go off, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it's good rates for sure.
Grendel is trying to P-swing, do something. He's missing though pretty consistently, which is odd. That doesn't usually happen.
A fully topped off Grumf is going to carry the flag across. Dxutim's still looking around to do the damage that he can. He's up.
Yeah, I had told him to capture, but I think he's still fully smited, so he's not wanting to. Which is fine too, Grumf can Meteo if he gets grouped up on.
I mean, they're going to be fine. Dxutim is just destroying this team right now. They're already hurt. They don't have healing. I'll even like, Dxutim in the past has been the traditional capture. And I even like that Grumf is capping here because Dxutim can just chase him down. Chain and heal lag. Slann does get a choke off, which might give them a little mercy.
Maybe. With
what
he's doing, it's also kind of bad for them, maybe. Although, if they just keep him down for 2 rounds like that, that's kind of good. But Grendel's just getting weapon tossed. And Slann.
Well, I definitely think this is going to be 2 caps for, I mean, it might even be 3 if you guys stagger correctly.
I think so. There's just so much healing for Brutes once they group up.
Honestly, if they don't have, if KCS doesn't have that much health right now, and they don't have that much mana, they might just want to suicide on Grumf if they can. I mean, Brutes are going to make it hard for sure. Brutes know that they want to die at this point, or that it would be advantageous for them to do so. So if Brutes can just kind of play around a little bit and throw some dirt kicks their way and avoid them in defensive stance.
With everybody being on Grumf now, they do have to die.
Auorodict does take the toast. When Dxutim wakes up, it's going to be a lot of damage. He can maybe turn that around here. Merilith dies as well.
Meteo
is responsible for 2 toasts this match. And Brutes do get the first cap off, which is really, really not a good thing for KCS. And Dxutim is going to be a huge problem for them here because he's in wide health. He's a tank. He's got all this health, and the damage is pretty real.
With the timing of all this, I think it is going to be a 3-0 because Slann and Grendel are just too hurt. They can't kill Dxutim and Grumf. Like if they come at them, just the AOE is too much.
If Grumf can get that
still
second,
alive too, so like he's just kind of staying alive.
Xantiln and Kid are both really good at operating at high levels while hurt, and that Slann toast proves it. You just got the assassin and all his utility out. Grendel's basically he does it amazingly, but he's just damage. He's a damage bot, so they should be able to focus him down pretty quickly. But Grendel does get a toast on Xantiln. He is blinded off that, though. He has no cure. Merilith is out, so that's going to be pretty big for Brutes.
Yeah.
He is cleansing.
At this point,
try to get it off quickly, though.
Dxutim will take the third flag, and then it's going to be game over. Hartney can't stop him.
Yep. This is actually looking like a pretty solid 3-0. I don't see that they can do anything.
Yeah, the last two matches have looked pretty intense, but in both matches, Brutes lost a man in the first 30 seconds to a mistake that is not likely to happen again in either case. You know, first one was the Viper Bite issue, and then the second one was the Holy Word. Neither of those things are likely to happen again, and when we were able to win after those events, you know, it puts a lot of pressure on the Sharks to make something new happen.
It does. I do think that Sharks play the right strategy, which is that they go in very aggressively and try to get a kill in the first couple minutes, because they're an all-damage team. They don't have that much healing. They don't have any composition they could field with that much healing, except for Kurumaru, who, you know, for whatever reason, they don't want to feel. I understand that, because a priest offers healing, but not that much utility, Meteo notwithstanding.
And the thing is, you don't want to field a priest against a much stronger priest. Like, if the lineup that you're using is just a weaker version of the other guy's lineup, you're going to lose. You have to do something different to try and work around that. So I think any team just fielding a priest against Brutes is probably a mistake.
And Dxutim did not get the stack here, but they've staggered so well, I don't see how it's going to be an issue. You know,
Yeah,
Grendel is the only one who can stun Dxutim really successfully, which means anybody else who comes out after him, if he has flag, is just going to get chained.
Yeah, Slann and Grendel is dead as well, correct? Or did he
yes,
not die yet?
He just died, and Dxutim can probably just walk it across.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. My dog is being retarded. I'm sure you guys can hear on the stream.
Auorodict is out, and he's going to play great support here. I mean, honestly, Dxutim could be fine alone.
Dxutim tickles Hartney. Little drive-by tickling.
Yep. And here's another thing: Auorodict is really good against Hartney, probably. You know,
against Hartney and Merilith, who's the next one out.
Yeah, those roundhouses will land on them.
I think at this point it's just run the flag across, and
this is going to be a 3-0 for sure. Yeah. Merilith walks out. He's not, and he is out, but he's not going to be able to do much.
Let's see, we've got Hartney is just getting acid blasted. Merilith is. I wonder what Merilith is trying to do. If he's trying to do
the only thing
or something.
The only thing, I mean, what KCS could do to potentially stall a little bit is Dxutim has the flag and he's across.
Yeah, Merilith could grab the flag maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And then you stall and you let Slann and Grendel get out there, and they're playmakers. So
there's a Holy Smite on Dxutim, which will slow things down. Slann is out, so a joke could slow things down a little bit more.
I mean, if they get rescues,
comes out of hiding with a crazy round onto Hartney.
Yeah, and he goes down.
Wow, apparently Grumf was over there just like healing Xantiln up because.
Yeah, I see that.
The last time he showed his face, he was at oft, and now he's a destroyed toast. So
that's gotta be upsetting, you know. You think he's almost dead.
You thought he was dead, and he comes and is like, "Hi."
And that's the thing, it's like if Brutes can do damage to KCS while KCS is doing damage to Brutes, even if it's 60-40, Brutes still have all this healing, Xantiln's up again, it's like a whole nother person coming out. Auorodict does take a choke. Slann is going to have I don't envy his position here. He's going to have to do a lot.
It's always possible with choke, with choke and strangle, all things can happen, but it's an uphill battle. I don't know that his chokes are going to be reliable enough. Well, no, because Dxutim's on the goal line. Yeah, you can't stop that.
And he bows right before he takes an hit. Honestly, KCS should I mean, if they... Nope, that's it. Definitely Merilith should have gone and gotten a cap there. It would have stalled maybe to get Grendel out. Dxutim's kind of stuck.
Merilith was in the flag room, so it looks like
was he getting interrupted? No, everybody was across, right? It was just him?
It was just him, but he didn't have enough time, I think, was the thing.
Well, I mean, he had time earlier. Yeah, I mean, he could have got the cap.
He fell into, I think, kind of the trap where you're like, well, I don't want to grab it right away. I'm just going to die. But, I'll try and, ride that edge and to buy as much time as possible. But if you do that too much, you risk being too late.
Yeah, and it's not... This wasn't some big, huge mistake on KCS's part. It's just... Brutes have a great composition, and they have a great team. And if both of those are okay, like in okay position, then short of Grumf dying in the tick or something, this is pretty much how you would expect it to go. I expected it to be closer than a 3-0, but that's just the way it works sometimes, when you stagger, and Brutes are really good at staggering, then that's just what the score is going to be. If you can win that first engagement and you can stagger the kills like that, then you turn a 3-2 into a 3-0. It's just as simple
as that. You have that healing, yeah. If you don't have the healing, then they can come out and mop you up. But with the healing, yeah. But to be honest, I expected a 3-0, just purely based on the way the last two matches went, losing a man and still coming back and winning.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows I think Sharks are going to have to do something different. This lineup is not going to work against us.
That's a good point, though. As you said, Brutes made a huge mistake, right? And they still came back and won 3-2, so it's not a far cry to assume that they would win it more definitively if that didn't happen. But it was a good match anyway.
The good news for Sharks is in the next match they do have home field, which does give them the freedom to kind of play around a little bit more, maybe.
What do you feel, though? I mean, maybe you put Sean in instead of Hartney. But what do you feel other than that?
I mean, for obvious reasons, I don't want to go too much into it.
Yeah, this is the playoffs. Don't say anything.
I can talk a little bit about it. I mean,
you have the option of Nazrin, and
I'm confident that we're going to go forward regardless. But I mean, let's just talk about the obvious two subs,
sure.
Okay? The obvious two subs would be you throw in Sean, you get some consistent damage output along with an AoE heal to help mitigate the AoE damage that's coming at you. And so that gives you some healing, right? The other option that's, quote unquote the obvious option would be if you put in Xantiln, the Invoker, he can AMS and not have to worry about the Medio or the tones. Of course, then with that, you have to deal with the fact that you're AMS up against Xantiln, but at least you're not taking the AoE damage.
That's true, but your observation that you don't really want to put a weaker Invoker against a stronger of the same class is it's just true. This is the playoffs. They're probably not going to field TA just on that basis. I know it's not as simple as that because an Invoker is basically playing against the other three players. You're not playing against the other Invoker, but Dxutim is just very much the Super Saiyan version of a regular Invoker.
Well, I don't know about Super Saiyan. Maybe.
I would go that far.
Maybe Kaioken. I mean, remember he doesn't have his horns right now. I think that kind of downgrades him.
That's true.
He's missing the spikes.
Yeah, he's not quite as horny, so.
But it was a good first match, I think. Like I said, I'm looking forward to them trying something different in the next match, but we'll have to see. They may feel that. What the hell? Really?
He wants your attention, but you can give it to him. We're done.
No, not that. Okay, I just got killed in the arena because people are silly. But that's gonna do it for this broadcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you Sunday night for the next match.
Yep.
Have a
Good
night,
game.
folks.